Why is it that just when everything is going right, you shoot yourself in the foot? Why, when you're so close to your dreams, can't you take that final step and instead choose to ruin everything? Yet, you were about to get a promotion. That relationship was deepening exactly as you had imagined. You had all the motivation you needed to start that project. Then, suddenly, it was as if an invisible hand pulled the emergency brake. You forgot to send an important email. You snapped at the person you love most for no reason. Or you left a task that would take weeks until the very last night. That familiar weight you feel right now, that "here we go again" feeling. This is the cold breath of self-sabotage. It is far more than a simple mistake. It points to a much more complex psychological process. Perhaps your mind is stopping you simply to protect you. Self-sabotage doesn't appear out of thin air. Its foundations are usually laid during those vulnerable years of childhood. If love was offered to you conditionally, meaning you only received approval when you were successful, well-behaved, or met someone else's expectations, your mind made a dangerous connection. I am not worthy, loved, or wanted just as I am. This belief becomes the fuel for sabotage in adulthood. A child who was constantly criticized or emotionally neglected by their parents learns that staying invisible is the safest path. To shine, to draw attention, or to be successful is to invite criticism, disapproval, jealousy, or an even heavier emotional burden. That's why, as an adult, you extinguish your own light just at the moment you're about to shine. Most of us share a common misconception. That change only means going from bad to good. In reality, change, no matter the direction, is the unknown. For the human mind, the unknown can be quite threatening. This is where the fear of progress comes into play. Your current situation might be miserable. Maybe you're in a low-paying job or a toxic relationship. But despite all the negativity, when these situations are familiar to you, you know that place well. You know its pain, its boundaries, and how to survive there. To progress means to transform into a new version of yourself. Leaving your old identity behind is, in fact, losing your old self, which brings with it an emotional burden of grief. Because we fear the immense void that progress will create, we make a mistake, almost intentionally, that causes us to stay right where we are. Staying where we are hurts, but at least we know what we're up against. Sometimes your fears can rule you. Success is not just a reward. It is also a responsibility. It means people's expectations of you increase. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and standing naked against the wind on a peak you've never been to before. This is where the fear of failure begins to surface. We feel as if putting our whole heart into something and still failing would be proof of our inadequacy. This is why sabotage acts as a shield for our ego. We prefer to appear lazy or irresponsible rather than be labeled as inadequate. In everyone's mind, there is an internal thermostat regarding who we are and what we deserve. If your childhood traumas whisper that you aren't enough, this thermostat rings an alarm when things start going well, pushing the button to pull you back down to that familiar level of unworthiness. You ruin your happiness just so you can return to that familiar sadness.